Morning, it's Joe here from I Wander UK. It's day 46 of the Southwest Coastal Path Challenge. I'm at Orkham Point, which is just at the other end of Exmouth, as you come out of Exmouth, and I found a nice little spot here, lovely and level. Unfortunately, the mist and the drizzly rain all night is collected on and the tent's soaked inside and out, so I'm in the process of doing that at the moment. Today I'm walking through to Sidmouth, or that's where I'm aiming for today, Sidmouth. But I'm quite looking forward to it. The weather's still a bit misty, but I'm hoping it's going to clear later. It was a bit miserable yesterday, and I'll be honest with you, it got me a bit down. There wasn't anything to see, and I couldn't see it even if there was. So I'm at the beginning of the Jurassic Coast, I believe. So I'm looking forward to exploring and having a look around, see what else is around here, because I've been to Sidmouth before, fossil hunting for a bit. I didn't do very good, but yeah, my understanding is this is totally different. You can literally see the red soil that I've had for the last couple of days turning into white. So get the rest of this tent packed up and we'll get going, and hopefully the weather will clear. Like I say, I'm looking at the moment, I can see out to sea. Yesterday, literally visibility was 20, 25, maybe 30 meters at most, and you couldn't see anything, and it was just that damp. I don't mind the damp, don't mind the rain or the wind, as you know, but I'd just like to be able to see where I am. And that got me down, so I woke up this morning, positive spirits, let's kick it in again. Jurassic Park, if everything goes to schedule, I've got about another 10 days, so let's see how it goes. The challenge you have when you're camping, I think, and I'm not sure because I haven't got huge amounts of experience, but I've got some experience from this trip, is that when there's no wind, as last night was lovely because the tent's not flapping around, so you get some sleep. But the problem you have in the morning is if it's a little bit of drizzle on the outside and you get condensation on the inside, so you dry the outside of the tent. As you can see, I've given it a wipe down with one of these, I don't know what you call them, kitchen cloth type things. You can get the rest of it off, but on the inside of the door, look, it's soaked. And with no wind or air coming through, you can't dry it. If there was wind, I could literally leave that flap open. The time I've packed the rest of my rucksack off, put stuff away, come back to the tent and the inside's dried out. But when there's no air, you've got no chance. And just look out from where I am on the top of the cliff, looking down over the sea. You can still see the mist, you can't see the sky, it's just mist. And so it's damp, so basically you have to just end up getting the worst of it off and suck it up and put it away wet, and hope that at the end of the day there's some wind, because as soon as you get a little bit of air, it doesn't even need to be strong wind, put your tent up, open the door and it dry out. I'm not blaming the Lanshan, I love this tent. Like I say, it's day 46 and this has been through thick and thin with me so far, and it's never let me down. It's been on slopes, on bracken, brambles, hasn't torn. I can't think of the situations this tent's been in. Like I say, it's never let me down, so I assume it's like with every tent. I've only ever been away in other tents for like 2 or 3 days at a time, so I don't know. But it's a minor little thing, you've got to put it away, hope for the best, it'll work out. Last little look around before we go. Check you got everything. Make sure you left none of your shiz behind. I know I don't need to say it. LNT, leave no trace. Let's not upset the natives. As I was just doing the final bit of pack up then, I actually thought to myself, I was in no rush this morning. It's not raining, it's not windy, not any rush to get off too early. But as I've said before, have some sort of method to do what you're doing, whatever suits you. I seem to be going in slow motion this morning and still got away quicker than I normally do, so maybe there's a lesson there. I prefer to call it wild camping because that's what I'm doing. I'm just camping out in the wild. I quite like the idea of stealth, it sounds sneaky and stuff like that, but you don't need to be sneaky. Look, you can see that's where I was in those trees, and there's houses just up there. But it's wild camping. You're just out camping in the wild. Trying to cut away this idea of stealth, and then we shouldn't be doing it. Why shouldn't we be doing it? Just a thought. I'm retracing my steps what I did yesterday. I noticed this rooted out tree yesterday. give me sort of second thoughts when I was thinking about camping under the trees, but I had a good look round, no widowmakers. I'm just going to retrace the last few minutes of what I did yesterday, see if it's any clearer today. Huge difference. I came down here yesterday afternoon when I was umming and ahhing and feeling guilty with myself because I hadn't walked very far. I'm glad I made the choice now. Literally could only just about see the end of these steps. Now, that's the view going back into Exmouth. And I would say over there, just with the lights hitting now, is Dawlish. Yeah, it's still not super clear, as you can tell by the sky. And it looks like it's going to be like that all day. But it's so much better than yesterday. Like I said, it was maybe 30 metres. And I had that the first 3 days, and I think that's another one of the things that was getting me yesterday. But it's a new day. Let's get on. There's the geo needle, so there's something great to look at already. Not really into that sort of thing, and I'll be honest, I think I said it before, when I was at school I was hopeless at geography and had no real interest, but as I've got older those things do fascinate me. My brain doesn't retain long words, so I could have never been a doctor, but it still interests me. I could never tell you about it, but it interests me and I like finding out about it. It's another one of those things I need to put on my list. Learn more about how the world was shaped and moved, and rocks. The first little bit after the geo needle, it's fairly straight going. As you can see, you're walking along the top of the cliff path, and this is the highland of Orkham, and it's above Sandy Bay or Sandy Beach, I think. You can't see it because of the gorse bushes, but it's a pleasant enough walk for starting the day. Get your ankles and your calves warmed up. Looking on the headland over there is Straight Point rifle range. Look, you can actually see the backboards for the targets, but we won't be allowed to go out there at all, so we need to miss out that headland totally. The path comes inland a bit. I need to be honest, and I'm not trying to offend anybody, I don't understand this at all. These mobile home things, chalets, whatever you call them, behind me, as you walk through, there's Mercedes, Audis, Discoveries, Range Rovers, all 1 or 2 years old. But why would you want to be here in your spare time or your free time, the time that you do have on this planet? I guess it's because it's easy, you're out of the city, I get that, but this is your view. You've got the shallows all around you, like a house and estate, and that's your view out to there, to a firing range. I'm sorry, but yeah, I feel really rich, as in rich in life. I'm poor in life, but I feel rich. I just realised what I said then, and it's not poor in life, I'm rich in life. I'm poor financially, money-wise, but I don't care. I really don't care. The fact that I've been able to have the time to be able to do what I've been doing for the last 45 days is, in my opinion, makes me feel a very, very rich man. It's forecast to be clearing, but it seems to be coming fog or mist coming in off the sea again. You can see it on the top of that next headland, losing sight of it already. Just got the caravan park behind me, and we're back into the open again. Literally go through a gate, there's a hedge, and you're back out here again. Yeah, the mist is starting to clear over there, and it does look like the sun's trying to burn through, but it hasn't yet. There's the view out to sea. Sort of clearer over that way, but the way we're heading looks a lot darker. I could just make the next headland after this one, but can't pick it up on the camera very well. Just spotted a signpost just after that caravan park. We've got 2 miles to Budley Silverton. I can see ahead there's a bit of a slope and stuff like that. I'm not sure what it's going to be like, but 2 miles to Budley Silverton. Cool. It's clearing out a bit. You can actually see right on the edge there how the sea's stained with the red soil. It's weird. I wonder if that happens all the time. That suggests to me it's just constantly eroding. Oh, that headland out there is just starting to come into view now. After you leave the caravan park behind you and the rifle range, it dips down by a few stairs, across a little footbridge, up another few stairs, and it's a slope. It was going out onto that headland I just showed you with the mist coming over, but it's a nice gentle slope. You seem to be gaining height for not much effort. Maybe it's because I'm fresh and it's first thing in the morning, but it's starting to warm up now. I'm really not sure what the weather's doing. You see behind me there, that's inland coming out to sea, I believe at the moment, but on the right hand side of me I've got the sun popping through, so you can probably tell I'm getting a bit warm now. But last night wasn't cold. I didn't even zip my sleeping bag up. I've got a silk liner on the inside. I think I said before that when it's really cold does add a couple of degrees. You can pull it up over your shoulders, but last night I was in the silk bag inside the stink sack. Didn't even bother zipping it up. I was comfortable all night, so maybe things are changing. I've said that before, and then woke up the next morning with frost on the tent, so. But it's the 15th of April 2022, so that ain't too bad. After the grassy slope it does narrow and it does get slightly steeper, but it's a quick look back of what we've done so far. Yeah, I thought that was big. I didn't realise it was quite that big. Those caravans or whatever they're called. And the look back, I guess that's the tip of Exmouth. Ormond Point would be about middle ground now. As you can see from the headland running away in the distance there, it's still getting misty, and it seems to be getting worse again. It started clearing and there's moisture in the air, and now it looks more like rain clouds coming in. I really can't tell. Look, if you look here, you can see where it literally clears here, and that's where it started to clear over that side. But it's just looking at this gorse, and when I first started it wasn't out in flower. Now it looked, when I first looked initially, it looked like it got frosted on the end, but it's not. It's literally the tip of the thing's got bleached. Odd, I've never seen that before. When you're standing sort of like about a metre away, when I first looked around all of this gorse here, it looked like it's got frost all over the top of it. I'm going to take 5 minutes and I'm just going to hope it clears, perhaps check the weather. As you descend into Budley Silverton, if you needed to, there's the path turns from stone to tarmac, back to stone again, and you come out on this little bit of parkland. If you were desperate, well, not desperate, but you could tuck yourself over the other side there by the trees, I'm sure. Especially if it was getting late and there was nobody around. But just another potential for a wild camp if you got caught out on your journey. It is still trying to clear. This is a first view of Budley Silverton. I like these little towns. As you come in, you're on a footpath 1 second, next time you're in a domesticated path, let's call it. You can tell there's like, I don't know, a house or two that you've passed as you get closer to the town, or a few people out walking the dogs. The path seems to change from sort of a little bit rough to a little bit smoother, and then boom, you're in the little village or town. I quite like that surprise. It's nice to be able to see where you're going as well, like when you're walking around the bay, but I quite like that little surprise. Let's go and have a little look down there then. Still quite traditional with the little fishing boats and nets and little cupboards to put them in. Just leaving Budley Salterton now. I was starving, so I stopped at a little cafe. I think it's the Longboat or something like that. And the chef got out talking to us, and they're both originally from London, and just had a really good chat. I would say, and I'm not biased, it was on a wholemeal roll, or BAP, I think, call it up north. Sausage and bacon and a lovely cup of coffee. Sitting outside there, and now the weather's cleared, look. See the blue sky behind me, so I'm getting round. You have to cut inland through the car park from Budley Salterton, cross a little footbridge and back out again on the track. I'll show you what I mean in a minute. From Budley Salterton, like I was saying, you have to divert inland, sort of go through like the estuary, but it's like a nature reserve, very pleasant walk. But it made me start thinking, like, I can't really have regrets, but I wish I knew more about nature, like trees and birds. There's little signs in there identifying all the different birds you could see. I'm not saying become obsessive about those things, but just to have that knowledge. I think it's great being outdoors and just appreciate being outdoors, but I think it would probably add to it if we had more knowledge, like being able to identify what trees are doing, know when plants come through, like the daffodils and the gorse and the hawthorn, and the birds and the bugs you get round. I don't know. I think it just makes the world even more fascinating than it already is. Coming up the other side of the estuary from Budley Salterton now. What a difference that 10 minutes, 15, 20 minutes having a bacon sandwich and a cup of coffee made. The weather now is glorious, absolutely glorious. There was mist and it looked like it was coming in even more in literally 45 minutes ago. Now it's lovely, and I start thinking, this seems very popular today, and I thought I'd made my classic mistake of, oh, it's Saturday, and I didn't really get around to thinking about it. But classic, even better. Well, it's not Saturday, but it's Good Friday. This is my day 46, so that's April 2022, which happens to be Good Friday. There's not too many, and I guess this is a popular walk. Back to Budley there, where the car park is, you turn left as you're coming from the other direction and you head inland. And I've been walking for 45, 50 minutes maybe, and just come all the way inland through the nature reserve and all the way back out again, coming down this path. And you realise that this is what you need to cross down there. Give you the scale with the people there. I'm not sure how deep that is, but it looks like you can almost run and jump it. But today it's one of those days, the sun's out and I just don't mind. It was a lovely little walk around, so I may regret saying that later when I hit the hills as I get towards Sidmouth, but we'll wait and see and deal with that when we get there. Looking back to Budley, and when you come up to this corner, you can see a lot of people where they're cutting across the top there. Even there's a sign clearly. Now, I'm not the fun police, but there's a clearly marked track. I guess if you're out walking your dog, you don't really care, but I think to most people walking the coastal path, it is important that they stay on the coastal path. But sometimes you can't be too obsessive about it, but I think I probably do go into that category. If there's the coastal path and I can get next to the sea, that's the one I will take. The other end of the field is where those tractors are working. It's like the turning point of where you come back in and towards the sea and back up the estuary. So just having a little look back and probably saying goodbye to Budley as well. But just a quick look back, This is a lovely cliff top walk, and you can look down and see all the redstone and the sea. But it's beautiful inland as well. Very, very nice. Whichever way you look. I hadn't realised how much I've walked along these cliff top paths. It's fairly easy going. There's a bit up and down, so it's enough to keep you interested, but it's not overly gnarly, for want of a word. But I think it's for me, that feeling of openness just sort of dawned on me. I was thinking on other bits of the path where you can see sometimes there's trees, and I do like the woodlands, and you get little fleeting looks, and then sometimes there's gorse or hawthorn. It makes a hedge down one side, and sometimes you get walls and hedges both sides. And it's not claustrophobic, it's just whichever way I look, there's something to look at. And that's amazing. Like I said before, blue stuff on the right side. Beautiful countryside on the left-hand side. But I've just stopped for a second because a couple of people have told me how, to use my expression, gnarly it is later. Well, we're just going up this slope, but menacingly behind it in the cloud there, the centre of the screen. Wonder what that is. I just stopped for a few minutes, took my boots off because I had to, because my trousers were there. I was trying to get down to my shorts, so I took my boots off, swapped over to the shorts, and at a short time it's starting to clear even more. I can see the headland in the distance. Just make out some buildings. Hope it keeps clearing. Keep on clearing. That lump ahead still got cloud over it, but it's not white or grey. It sort of looks tobacco-y colour, or even brown. Maybe it's because it's so high. Literally just happened again. Someone trying to spoil what was turning into my near perfect day. I'm walking along and a couple stood at the side of the track. It must have been 50 metres at least away from me. Could see me coming a long way away. As I got to 2 or 3 metres from them, the dog came at me. It's only because I got trekking poles and I put them in front of me, it couldn't bite my legs. And then the woman says to me, "Oh, it's okay, just stand still." As if it's my fault. I've been sort of trying cool, laid back Jay as I normally am. But for fuck's sake, your dog's not in control, put it on a fucking lead. Jesus Christ. What if I was a little kid? Oh, it annoys the shit out of me. "Oh, it's okay, just stand still." No, your dog was trying to bite me. Sort it out, have a fucking word. Look how beautiful that looks. That lump's got its own cloud look. That's been there all morning. But here's the Instagram shot. Them lovely piles of rock in the foreground there. I think that could be Sidmouth in the distance. But the reality is, someone was allowed to do that. Ladram Bay. How idyllic. Looks lovely. All these rocks, like casts, I think they're called in Thailand. It's like all these natural casts, these rocks, like freestanding cliffs. Reality. Through Ladram Bay Holiday Park, i.e. mobile homes. Could possibly come out across the field the other side. You get the path with this hedgerow on either side, so I can't see anything at the moment, but I hope I get some elevation and then we'll start seeing some more views again. Note for oneself: you are a tank, a mini tank, a bloody machine. I just walked up that high peak on the way to Sidmouth. One go, no stop. Machine. mashed it. Don't let that ominous lump with a cloud over it phase you. It's a slope going all up and a couple of steps. That'll be Sidmouth, just to the left of centre of screen. I need to get down to there, perhaps pick up a bit of food, definitely need water. Then I need to be getting out for about 1.5 miles, 2 miles the other side, perhaps over those next 2 lumps. The cloud still is like, it doesn't show off on the camera, but it's like tobacco-y colour, like sepia. But what a view. The ominous lump, by the way, was called High Peak. Now I'm going to go back down. I'm going to be heading over to there, Sidmouth. I think there's another little bit of an uphill and then drop down into Sidmouth. So the views looking inland are great as well. It's a good day today, a good day. You feel like you're properly outside, if there can be such an expression. Coming down the hill to Sidmouth, you can literally see the cliffs go from red, hold on, let me see if I can show you, to grey, middle ground now, to in the distance white. Quite unusual. Really quite good to look at. Drop down at Sidmouth. It's got everything you need, ice creams, shops, other shops. Just follow the promenade, Esplanade, that word, all the way through, literally right up to the end until you get to the red cliff face again. You turn left after the RN and LI place, over the bridge, up a little zigzag, turn right up the cliff road, walk right to the end of there, and then turn left. Walk for about 100 metres, turn right, and then come up back of some houses and we're back out on the path. Still a little road, but we're back on the coastal path. Last little bit, you turn right at Lascars Lane, the end of Lascars Lane, and you'll see the sign. As always, Sidmouth was my aim point, but I'm not going to be able to camp in Sidmouth, so I need to get to, you know, far enough out of town so I can pitch up for the night. Because I've got myself a couple of treats, some biscuits and stuff, and I've refilled my water, the bag feels even heavier, and I'm coming up this long slope hill. And I don't know if I just put my bag on differently, it just feels heavier. It's weird. Maybe it's, I don't know, I reckon it must be psychological. So that's probably another 2.5k plus, probably another 3.5, maybe 4k, so that could be the reason. Destroy the boat, the donkey's back and all that, but we'll see. This is the first lump that I'm attending with at the moment. I tell I'm a little bit out of breath. Must have been, maybe it's that mid-afternoon fade I get, because I felt strong all day. I felt good, really good all day. We'll see. Just taking a little bit look back over Sidmouth. You see the hill literally behind Sidmouth here, and then that's High Peak before it, the ominous lump with a cloud over it. You can see all the cloud coming over the top of there again. And I need to dry my tent out first, so hoping the weather holds for a little bit longer.